the NFL scouting combine is coming up this week. I believe it starts on the 27th, which is Thursday of this week. And this is the time when we see a lot of guys pop up on the scene and somebody runs a 4.35 or whatever, and they end up getting drafted in the first round, and then they don't have a great career because they just ran real fast. Teams fell for it, and they drafted them. So we have an opportunity to see these guys run around. I think Shador Sanders came out and said that he will not throw at the combine. He'll throw at his pro day. And a lot of guys are normally not electing to run or do anything. Participating at the combine is really just an opportunity to get a lot of firsthand interactions and interviews out of the way, as we saw on Hard Knocks with the New York Giants, which I hope they do that again with another team coming up this summer, because that gave a lot of insight to what really happens behind the scenes, which a lot of it we already knew, but to really see it on the big screen on a streaming platform was a good thing. So, Elijah, is film more important than measurables, or do you think measurables can sometimes outweigh things that you see on film?
Um, if we talk measurables is like a 5% chance that you probably hit on the mark. Xavier Worthy being one of them. He was not a top tier receiver before the combine to me. I didn't really hear much about him. You had so many receivers with Rome and Malik and Marvin, and next thing you know, Xavier comes and run this 4.29, I think, and Chiefs was like, "Hey, we can work with this," and they did. Xavier had a really good game in the Super Bowl, and he really grew, especially when Rice went out when he tore his ACL. You could see Xavier's progress. But other than that, man, no, I'm with film. Uh, Only for the simple fact that you can see the good and you can see the flaws in full uniform. I could go out and swim from one end of the pool to the other end of the pool to come back. That mean I'm beating Michael Phelps. If you put me out there, just put me in the backyard pool, and I did that, that does not mean I'm beating Michael Phelps. I could go outside and hit a puncher bag, and you just filming me go. That don't mean I'm beating Floyd, but I look good because I ain't fighting nobody. I'm not swimming against nobody. I'm not fighting against nobody. Measurable sometimes or most times are lies. Like that's why when senior bowls and things like that happen, the one position I'm really paying attention to is the offensive line and defensive line because I feel like they get the most work. And you could really discover who is that guy. For instance, not a lot of people knew who Mike Green was. He go out there and show up for the Senior Bowl, first round pick. And it wasn't what he did at the combine, because at the combine, it never happened yet. The measurables that he did, or the film, and the stuff that he did on Senior Day, where he actually had pads on, and he was destroying some of these big name program guys. That's what you're really going to see. So it really comes down to film, man. Film will show the good and the bad. It's easy to look at somebody highlights and be like, they're great. Well, you're only highlighting highlights. Like, it's not like you're sitting here and saying, oh, they're going to put a drop pass on highlights, or if he ran a lazy route on highlights, or if the quarterback didn't take a proper 3-step, 5-step, or a proper read on highlights. They're just going to show, oh, that looks good. Let's put it out there. So for really good GMs, they won't just look at highlights and say, or just hear what fans would say, um, and just draft the guy off of that. They did their homework. I mean, Patrick Mahomes fell in Kansas City lap because the guy Brent Venables did his homework a year early and wanted to trade up that next year because he felt like he saw enough on tape that this guy would be good. So again, man, we put too much pressure on just if this guy can run a 4.3, if he can backpedal real fast, or if he could do this on air. Like what I'm saying is everybody beats air, essentially. Like everybody could beat air because air's not doing nothing. But when you got to go against another physical or another human being right in front of you, that's when things look different because it's his best versus yours best, and let's see where it measures out at. Not just stuff where I'm running around in gym shorts. Like that's not happening. That doesn't give me the best idea of how you can make my football team um, go and potentially, because I don't care if you're the Cleveland Browns or the New Orleans Saints. Every team is essentially competing for a Super Bowl until the season's over with. But are you going to help me compete for a Super Bowl? So I don't like the NFL Combine too much or stuff like that. Not really a big fan of pro days sometimes either. It's what you can do on the film, Senior Bowls and stuff like that. That's what really gets me going.
For sure, man. In the great words of Mike Richard, my old offensive line coach in college, what you do when you're running around in underwear does not matter. It's about when you put on the pads and buckle up your chin strap. That's the only thing that matters. Because as a lineman, I mean, the drills that they be doing, the shuffling back and forth, the looking at the footwork, that's cool against air. What you gonna do when Khalil Mack is over there? What you gonna do when Jalen Carter is lined up over you and he been working a bull rush all game? Can you stop the bull rush? Can you alleviate pressure from the quarterback? If you're a defensive end, can you get to the quarterback? Can you run the hoop? Can you bend? Do you have ability to play in the run game and also rush the passer? Or are you a liability or in the run game? If you're a linebacker, can you shed blocks? Can you cover? If you're a DB, can you play man and zone? Or are you a liability when they say we go and cover two and you can't understand your zone concepts and responsibilities? If you're a safety, can you play your half of the field or your third of the field, or are you looking in the backfield? All of that stuff is the only thing that matters. Now, for people that are, not being looked at highly and are like flying under the radar, if they go out and run a 4.3 and they have good film, go get them. But you cannot draft a guy and say, man, he ran a 4.3. Let's go get him. We'll teach him that football stuff later. It don't work like that. Because especially now, these guys are making way too much money. Because after 3-4 years, you're going to have to give them $100 million. So I can't give you $100 million just because you can run in a straight line really fast. You got to be able to win on Sundays. You have to win your one-on-one battles at a high rate to be $100 million man. That's the only way that it works like that. So I like the combine because you can see who ran the fastest and all of that stuff like that. And some guys' names will pop up from a smaller school or somebody that was a number 2 or number 3 receiver that didn't get as many receptions. And then after you've seen that, or after you've seen the guy have a 4.0 in the what is it, the shuttle, the 3-cone shuttle, I think it is that they have, whatever it is, you see that, and then you pop on the tape and you see how it translates, and you say, okay, he can run the routes, he can run the route tree, okay, he can bend the hoop, okay, he sheds blocks really well, okay, he can cover, okay, I like what he can do. Now let's give him a look. Now they're going up draft boards. Now they can come in and make a difference. But the thing that goes without saying at the combine, that's also, a big part of it is how can they receive information, receive schemes, and be able to regurgitate it back to you. We saw how Jaden Daniels handled things with Brian Daboll when we were looking at it on Hard Knocks. If you a quarterback and I rattle this play off to you, can you say it back to me? Or do I have to slow down and dumb down my offense because you can't remember these plays? Because I don't care how good you are. If you don't know what the play is when you get in the huddle and you can't say it back to your team, we only got 3 timeouts now. I ain't finna burn too many of before I take you out and put in somebody that can do the job. So everything is cool at the combine and it's great to see it. And wow, that guy ran a 4.3. Man, that lineman ran a 4.7 and he 352 pounds. That's great. Can it translate to the field? If it doesn't translate on the grass, it don't mean nothing. It does not matter. So we love it when it works in their favor, but when you're just going off of potential of what guys do in underwear, running around on the field, it don't matter. That film never lies.
Turn this TV off. Turn his TV off, bro. We don't need to see that stuff. It's a lie.
Hey man, that eye in the sky never lies. Cause you can see that all 22. Oh man, coach, I got cut. I got cut on the backside. No, you didn't. You stopped running. You was loafing. That's why you didn't get the tackle on the backside. Oh, this boy like to loaf. I'm not drafting him in the first round. Slides to the fourth round. That's how that happens. I don't care that he run fast. He be loafing. I don't care if he can throw the ball 80 yards down the field. He can't read the defense. He has one read, and then he takes off running. I don't care. I don't care how far he can throw it. I don't care that you can, run at a shield and cut. If in real time, when you get in open space, you can't make a man miss as a running back. It don't matter. Film never lies, guys. So we'll look at the combine. We'll probably talk about it a little bit on the show of some of the top performers. But in terms of if that's going to drive somebody home and they're going to be a Super Bowl MVP because of what they do at the combine, absolutely not. Tom Brady is a perfect example. A perfect example. It was what he could do on the field. And that's all that matters.